But the one that's captivating them out in the western suburbs here, Heels, is the Rugby League World Cup final, Australian Kangaroos against Samoa.
As it should. As it should. They've surprised plenty after their first performance.
And now this gentleman has become a real media performer, Christian Brown, who's the organiser of the Samoa Rugby League World Cup celebrations. Good morning to you. Thanks for finding the time. Every time I turn on a television set or a radio, you're on at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people say I got a head made for radio rather than TV. So I think it's true. Thanks for having me, boys.
Hey, we had Frank Pullatur on earlier in the week, mate. Try and talk us through what the emotion, what the excitement, what the hype is like about this game.
Oh, mate, it's been an emotional roller coaster, especially for my people here in Australia. I mean, our country, Samoa, has a population of about 200,000 people, but I think, statistically, we've got more Samoans living outside of Australia, outside of Samoa, than we do, here in Australia and New Zealand. So everybody's just proud to celebrate. The boys have created history, so everyone's just happy, ecstatic that the boys have made it this far. Just to make it into the semi-finals after what happened after the first game. Everyone's just so proud of the boys. So, our people love to celebrate. So, apologies to all the Aussies and other people around Australia because there's been a lot of beeping of horns and a lot of gee-hoos going around. So
I reckon it's great.
But it's been amazing to see.
Oh, mate, the size of Townsville, that is, 200,000, Christian. So to make the World Cup final, you guys are of the opinion that anything now is a bonus, but your team has to turn it around. They'll be trying to go the whole hog, won't they? Are they the type of people that can get over last week's triumph quickly and get ready for this one?
Absolutely. I've spoken to some of the boys. I spoke to, Stephen Crichton, who's actually my nephew, and the boys have the belief that they can go all the way. I mean, a lot of them, play their trade here in the NRL, so a lot of them have that experience, so they believe that anything is possible, that they can beat Australia. Australia are the pinnacle of rugby league, so, but the boys, they believe they can do it. And I know they can do it as well. The people believe it too.
Yeah, I tell you what, you look at the core of this side, you look at the Sualihi as a kid who pledged his allegiance. I was reading a quote somewhere that it was Crichton and Luai or Toho out on a golf course in Penrith somewhere, and Sualihi called them and said, "Hey guys, I'm committing to Samoa." And the two Penrith players were going off like little kids. Yeah. They said, "Oh, how good is that?"
I think, I heard that same similar story. And I think a lot of it was after the games when they were versing other clubs. I think Junior Bolo was instrumental in influencing a lot of the Samoan heritage players to opt to play for Samoa other than, Australia, because a lot of them were playing for New South Wales.
Christian, what do you feel might happen to rugby league and junior rugby league and grassroots in Samoa after this?
It's still a growing game, but I think it'll get even stronger. On Sunday morning, it was amazing. On Sunday morning, it's usually like a Sabbath day over there, so people don't really go out and celebrate out in the streets like we do here in Aussie or New Zealand, but you had kids going out on the streets, people going out on the streets on Sunday morning celebrating. So you could tell from that how much it meant to them and how much, it will do for the game of rugby league in Samoa. So hopefully we'll see a lot of players coming straight from Samoa, hopefully going into the NRL.
I'll tell you what, you're on a Melbourne Cup preparation for this game on Sunday. You're starting at 2:00 in the afternoon, aren't you? On Saturday afternoon with a march down to Goodna Gladiators Park.
Is that the current name of that park, or have you just made that one up?
We just made that one up. Yeah. So it was, I had a meeting with QPS and Israel City Council, and then they were like, "Hey, you're starting at 2, but the game is at 2 a.m." And I said, "Mate, we're going for 12 hours." I mean, me and a couple of the people in the community, our day's probably going to start at like 8 a.m.
Yes.
In regards to how much preparation we have and how many things we've got organised. But yeah, we just basically wanted to put it on for the community, and man, props to QPS and council for fully supporting us and getting behind it too. They've been so accommodating, so we appreciate it.
So, Christian, do you reckon you're going to get like 1,000 along for this march? And I know there's Samoan food.
Probably, yeah, we'll probably get more. So we've even got. Just so you guys are aware, we had people around the community, local businesses. We've got close to donations of $15,000
just
in preparation. Yeah, just in preparation for Saturday. So our main objective was to put a safe space for the kids, and to celebrate. So we've got things like jumping castles. I had to go buy new footies because I bought footies last week for the kids to play around, and I didn't get them back. So
I
guess it's a Samoan thing, But yeah, we've got jumping castles, snow cone machines, free sausages, or we'll have some traditional Samoan food and things like that. Yeah.
Righto. What is that? What is traditional Samoan food?
So things like chop suey, we call it chop suey.
Okay.
So there's a vermicelli and meat and some soy sauce. Together we've got tara. Tara is our secret weapon.
Yeah.
That's how you got strong guys like Papali'i and Bolo, leading the front. So things like that. Chop suey, taro. We've got luau, which is you're probably close to spinach in English. So so food like that we'll have available.
Yeah, very good.
Hey, you just look at the core of this side. I just scribbled a few names down from the top of my head. So you got a kid like Sualihi, you got Papali'i, who's been around for an age. You got Junior Bolo, who just the two of them, form an imposing front row.
Yeah.
You got Luai, the talisman. You've got Crichton, the superstar outside back. You got Toho, who can do everything. You got Tim Laffey, who's one of the 5 Samoans to have made this team of the tournament. So, mate, there's a strong core there. If we're just going to talk pure footy.
Yeah, well, definitely, and I think the belief from our people is, in those boys is that those players are capable of winning the World Cup and beating Australia. I don't think anyone's going to give us a chance, but even from the beginning when we got pumped 60-6, you had guys like even before the tournament, you guys like Paul Kent. Riding us off and questioning the integrity of the boys, and then after our pump, getting pumped 60-6, you had guys like Bossy calling us back to go home. So, but those were the leaders, those players you named just then. I know for sure have been leading the group in their belief. And for example, you got a guy like Laffey. I actually didn't know he was still playing. And for him to come back, and step up in that centre position, man, it's been amazing. So guys like that, I think is just the belief that he has, and I think now that we've got a few NRL clubs, after his signature, after his performance in this World Cup, and of course, man, Captain Courageous, Junior Bolo, and what he's done and how he's led the team as an example. And then those young kids from Penrith, oh man, I think, I might convert to a Penrith supporter. So sorry, Broncos.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, Christian, the one thing I was going to ask you, I mean, is there a Samoan flag anywhere to be found in southeast Queensland?
I don't think so. I can't even find one myself. So, everyone's like, man, you're the organizer, but where's your flag? I'm like, there's a couple of my mates are selling them, and I'm like, bro, you guys are ripping people off. So, but there's the shops out there just sold out of flags. I got people messaging me from like North Queensland and down there in Sydney and Melbourne. They're like, "Oh, you got any flags up in Brisbane?"
Nothing.
It's probably absolutely sold out everywhere here in Australia. So it's just great to see, though. It's great to see.
Now, are you guys watching the game from Gladiators Park?
We're trying to. So council, I'm just in talks with council trying to accommodate the best place to do it. But everyone keeps blowing up my phone like, where are we watching the game? I think, especially my boys are banned from every tavern in Southeast Queensland. So just over the past couple of weeks, so we're gonna have to find a place to screen the game. So hopefully we'll be able to organise something in the coming days to show it at the park with everybody.
What about a normal occupation for you, Christian? What do you do for work normally, having this workload on top of it?
Yeah, well, I'm a disability support worker.
Yeah.
So I look after clients with disabilities, and so I've got a kid, with mental health disabilities. But we've taken him to some of the parades, and he loves it. Just loves the culture. Yeah, everyone makes him feel welcome, and he keeps asking me every day when's the next parade. And then every Saturday he's ready. He's up and ready in the morning, just wanting to go to these parades. So, but that's what it's about. It's about community. It's about culture. And in all my interviews, I've said from day one is that we're proud to be Samoan, but we're also proud to be Australian, because a lot of our community we grew up in here in Australia. So regardless of if Samoa made it to the final or not, we're always going to be back in Australia second.
Good stuff. Hey, what's your young fella's name?
Ben. His name's Ben.
Ben, if you're listening to us this morning, 2 p.m. Saturday, mate. There's a little parade happening. You'll be marching down with about 1,500 others by the sound of it.
I reckon he'll be with you at 8 a.m., Christian.
Samoan food. There's a free sausage sizzle. Hey, wonderful to talk to you. Mate, this is, I tell you, I live at South Bank, so does Heels, and I remember when Tonga beat Australia, they just went off. Yeah. There were cars and flags and beeping, and the field was just... it was so exciting. It really was.
Yeah, it was. And like, for me and a lot of other Samoans, we were so proud to see that a Polynesian nation was able to achieve that and beat, like, the pinnacle of, rugby league, which was the Kangaroos. So, and like everybody, including myself, thought one day, like, man, Samoa has the potential to do that, and we're finally here, and it feels surreal to do that. So, you had guys like Tomalolo and Tupou from Australia, and they led that charge for our small nation. So, shout out to Tongan Rugby League, because they really led the way.
Good stuff.
For boys to play for their nations.
All right, mate. It's one of the most exciting weekends of your life, and we wish you the best of luck. You've got a lot of fans.
Most stressful as well.
Yeah, it is. I know. You've only got a couple more days to go. Christian Brown, thanks very much.
Good luck, mate.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Christian was the organiser of the Samoa Rugby League World Cup final celebrations. I said a march down to Goodna Gladiators starts at 2:00 Saturday afternoon. Samoan food. Our tip was about 1,000 people, but Christian was telling us there could be a lot more.
I was too scared to ask. So, what are you going to be like if Australia beat you? I couldn't go there.
We won't mention it.